Hi, I'm Marsh from StrataGames, and today we are playing some decks from the top 16 at Paupergenesis. And you may notice that there's been a couple of changes to the stream overlay and whatnot. Hopefully we won't have any issues. I've been working on this for the past couple of days, so hopefully everything looks good and won't be any issues with like the chat showing up or anything like that. But yeah, so jumping right into it, we're starting with Gruul tokens. This was a deck by Will Loopy, which is similar to the Gruul tokens list that people have seen and been playing for a while, but with some pretty interesting one-ofs and some decisions. It sounds like based on coverage, he was on coverage at Paupergenesis once or twice, and it sounded like this is a deck he'd been working on pretty intensely for a couple of months. And so, it obviously paid off really well. He made 10th place, I believe, at Paupergenesis, which was 256 players, with a basically a homebrew, which is absolutely sweet. So this list, of course, uses Writhing Chrysalis because we're Gruul and we care about creatures entering the battlefield, tokens, and things like that. We have a lot of ways to make Eldrazi spawn with Eldrazi Repurposer and Nest Invader, and of course, Malevolent Rumble. And then when we're making all this spawn, we want to be pinging our opponent a whole bunch. So we have Impact Tremors and Molten Gatekeeper as our main ways to do that. We're also playing one of Raphael Tough Turtle. We have a Hissing Iguana, which every time a creature dies, we can deal damage to a player. And we have a Makeshift Munitions. So 11 total ways to just deal a damage per creature we have, with the Iguana and the Makeshift Munitions actually potentially doubling the damage because we get it for both entering and leaving. Then we're also playing some Lightning Bolts for some interaction, of course. We have Essence Wardens here to gain some life. Glimpse the Impossible can both make a bunch of creatures or actually just draw some cards, which is really nice. And we're also playing a one-of Sprout Swarm, which in the very late game can absolutely outgrind our opponent, making 2 or 3 of these every single turn. We're also playing some Bristling Backwoods for a little bit more damage, and Colony Gardens to just get free creatures, some forests and mountains. And then in our sideboard, we have Fairy Macabres, Breath Weapons, Weather the Storm, Troublemaker Oof, and Moment's Peace. So, pretty excited for this. Let's take it for a league and see how we do.
Thanks to Card Market for sponsoring this video. I've written a comprehensive guide on how to play White Weenie in Pauper, including my ideal stock list, over 30 sideboard matchups, and a sideboard cheat sheet, which gives you a very easy snapshot view and what to sideboard for every single matchup. I also have guides for Black Sack and Esper Affinity. Each guide is only $15, and if you buy one, you will get all future updates that I ever make to that guide for free. I also offer coaching, so if you're interested in upping your Pauper game for any of the decks that I'm very proficient in, or if you're interested in having me play your deck in a future video, you can do a deck donation, which is the only way you'll ever see me playing Cycle Storm or Flickertron.
We are also on 61 cards, I forgot to mention, because apparently Will is a mad lad. Stream overlay is looking sleek, very fitting for you. Thank you, I appreciate it. Overlay is nice. Hey man, I have a question for you. How much stock do you put into deck strength versus familiarity for events? I'm going to a Pauper event in New York in August. I don't know which deck to bring. I mostly play Gruul Ramp, but feel like it falls short to Red Madness, and I'm sure I'll see a lot of it. Yeah, it's a great question. Can't keep this one. I put a lot of stock in familiarity. You can be playing the best deck in the format, but if you don't know what you're doing, you're unlikely to win much. Maybe you can stumble into some wins, but it's going to be pretty hard. But if you know what you're doing really, really well, even with a deck that's not necessarily tier 1 or even tier 2, you can take advantage of points that your opponent might not be able to and may not know what's going on. And yeah, so there's a lot of ways that you can take advantage of knowing your deck better than your opponent that I think helps quite a bit. So again, if you have the worst player ever and they take the best deck, they're never going to win a big tournament. But if you take the best player ever and you take a medium to bad deck, they can still do very well. Now, obviously, even the best player can't win a tournament with 60 basic lands or whatever. But if you're somewhere in between, don't get spell pierced. Okay. If you're somewhere in between, then you're going to probably be okay. So I would definitely prioritize taking a deck that you are familiar with. Okay, this is cool. We get Gatekeeper in our graveyard for free. I think I want to take the Turtle then so that I can start pinging with the Chrysalis. I can just take a Repurposer, which attacks better. I think I'll take Raphael and see how that goes. Yeah, so I think familiarity is very important. Now, that said, sometimes, like you're saying, the deck is just really bad against the meta or a certain deck. So if the only deck you know really, really well is Gruul Ramp, and you don't think it's going to be good enough against Madness, maybe it's time to start familiarizing yourself with another deck. You don't have to play every deck in the format, like I often do. But if you know 2 or 3 different decks that all do different things and are good at different times, then it's not too hard to pick one of them that's going to be good enough for a meta. And so, yeah. Like whenever I go to a bigger event, I try to think which of the decks that I know intimately well is going to be the best in the meta. So I know Black Sack, White Weenie, Jund Wildfire, Dimir Fairies all really, really well. But Black Sack's not in the best spot right now. White Weenie can do well, but neither of them are amazing. And so that's why at like Paupergenesis a couple weeks ago, I decided to take Dimir Fairies. It was because it was the deck that I knew well enough that also I thought was good enough in the meta. I'm not sure I want a Chrysalis here because it just gets countered. The cat in the bottom right seems to have been replaced with some sort of man. Might want to fix that. I'll look into that. Shadeblade for sure. I could just hold up Sprout Swarm. Of course, they're probably not going to fully tap out at some point, and I'm also, I guess it's okay. Yeah, I think we're going to pass. I think if I wanted to cast the Chrysalis, I should have unearthed the Gatekeeper first, gotten the pings from that, and then also attacked. Thanks for the advice. I appreciate it. Monstertron is another one that I'm considering. Maybe if I get more games under my belt, I'll bring that. Yeah, I think... I mean, this is going to get countered, but then maybe the Chrysalis gets through. Not Sacrifice, Convoke. Yeah, I would say Monstertron is... Yeah, I think it's supposed to be better against Madness. I've heard conflicting things. Of course, you gain a lot of life, but also, like, my buddy who plays a lot of Mono Red Madness goes up against Monstertron a lot and says it's not too bad. But I've heard in general it's, like, a good matchup, so that would be a good one where, yeah, you're already going to be familiar with kind of that giant creatures attack play style, but you just need to familiarize yourself with, like, the Tron aspect of it. So that could be a good one to do for sure. So many familiar comments, not enough familiars in our deck. What's this world come to, Phil? All right, so here, they're going to have another counterspell, but I kind of just think I want to keep applying pressure, so I'm going to go for a Gatekeeper. It's poppin' time. You know it. So we're going to swing for 3 here. I'm going to cast Chrysalis. It's most likely going to get countered, but then I'll still get 2 spawn, which will ping off of both of these, so it'll be 4 more damage. I potentially should just keep passing while all they're holding up is counter spells and we're technically winning the game. That's probably the better thing to do. But I think right now I'm apparently too impatient. So don't do what I'm doing. I go for a mental note. Mill a Cryptic Serpent and Demon Inferior. There's another Serpent and a Delver. Oh, we'll play a Garden. Ping for 1. We have chump blockers for a while, which is nice. Saw the title and hoping it was pingers. Yeah, you're saying like the Pinger Tron deck? I think that was from Paupergenesis, not Genesis, right? That was a sweet list, though. Swing with the Serpent, and they have another one. That's a pretty good draw. We're hoping it resolves. I guess they tap down to 1 mana, so it's almost assuredly going to resolve. Ping for 3. We now have a Chrysalis, which could be big enough to eat any of their guys. I meant Gruul token, referring to the... Oh, okay, the Wrath Impact Tremors. Oh, perfect. Then you, in fact... We're right. I guess, yeah, we have a lot of pingers in this format. Okay, they are swinging with everything. I don't expect a boomerang or anything, so I think I should take this opportunity to eat one of these guys. So I can block like this. I will still have to sacrifice a 3rd spawn, but I don't have to sacrifice all of them in order to not lose our guy, which I would if I went up against a Serpent here. And if they have a boomerang, that's actually not bad, because I get to just recast this guy. So I'm not really expecting that. Island and Alorian. Okay, so I could attack with both of these. They chump here, take 1, plus I get to Garden, and I have blockers for both. And then they have to start leaving back the Serpents to chump block. I think that's good. This seems like a favored matchup for us. Chrysalis and Repurposer with their cast triggers helps a lot. A lot of chump blockers. Yeah, I think that's about it, but it seems good. They mental note. Mill is Sleep of the Dead. That's pretty good for them. Although they already passed through combat, luckily, which means they can sleep this, but they can't then attack, which is pretty nice for us. Call damage control is pretty good. I guess it gets back a land and a creature, but is it going to resolve? Probably not. So they're going to be able to start tapping down our Chrysalis, so I think I might as well just attack with it and force them to trade, so that if they start tapping everything down, I don't die immediately. So let's do that. They're going to double block, which is smart, because if they only single blocked, I could sacrifice 1 spawn. Since they do double block, I don't actually need to sack the spawn, and I can just trade here. And then I think I'm going to wait on the call damage control, because it's possible they'll go for like 2 Sleeps of the Dead here, or something that taps them low. Deep Analysis taps low. I was hoping to draw another spell so that I could double spell and they couldn't counter them both. I think I just pass. Mental note. Hits Delver Island, Ponder, and Brainstorm. I feel like the on-screen chat paused for some reason. Don't know what's going on there. I can refresh it, I guess. No, it just added a new comment. I don't know what's happening here. It is climbing around on MTGO yet, as I was thinking of building a similar style deck with a new Hydra Assault Robot. I believe it was added with Marvel Superheroes, maybe. We'll pass the turn here. Did you say you're live on YouTube? I don't see it. I did, and It says that it's live here for me, but I did notice that not a single person was watching, which seemed a little strange. They go for a Lorien. That's the problem with this deck. No draws, no deck manipulation, except Malevolent Rumble. Yeah, I could see that being a problem with the deck. Nest Invader. Nest Invader would give me 2 pings from Raphael, so it might be good enough to draw out a counterspell. If not, they just go to 1, which is pretty good. And since they do that, unless they have a Envelop, I can get back Chris, Bristling Backwoods, and just win off of the Chrysalis. Oh, they have a Force Spike. That's not quite going to do it. I'll take 3 here. Call Damage Control is a sneaky draw spell. Always gives you 2. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, assuming you filled up your graveyard, it is a value spell. Hello, you handsome devil. Hey, how's it going? It is I, the handsome devil. We have minimal graveyard hate. Moment's Peace could be okay. I mean, I think we're already pretty well geared towards them. Let me try to fix some of this stream stuff while I have a couple of minutes here. Yeah, it's definitely not showing that we're live on YouTube, which we're supposed to be. Hello, Wagin Sale. New layout. I like it. Perfect. Glad to hear. About to give you $5 so I can watch the sell videos on your channel. It goes live in about 40 minutes, so save your money. All right. Is there anything that I want to switch for this sideboard? The life gain from Warden is probably not super relevant. Not sure Moment's Peace is really necessary, though. Yeah, maybe the life gain can be good enough. I think we're just going to resubmit. I was trying to make sure that there would be no issues with the stream beforehand, of course, but there were some things that I couldn't really test until we were actually live. And of course, now that I am live, I don't really have the time to to fix it. Oh, these hands are amazing. Keep this, put back. Bolt doesn't do a ton here, unless they get a Delver, which maybe they will, and I'll regret it. But only like half the comments are showing up on the overlay on screen, which is weird. Don't understand that. And then, yeah, YouTube is not streaming at all, it appears. It tells me it's streaming, so it's just lying to me. Thought Scour, pass. Hell yeah, I hope you had fun with a deck you would never play in paper, lol. Thanks for the content you wonderfully made. You know, it was enjoyable. It's always fun to play a new deck, even if it's not my play style quite as much. And I'm sure people enjoy watching me play a deck that I haven't shown off before, so I appreciate the opportunity. I feel like the stream chat text might be a little hard to read. I think having a font a couple points larger would be good for the future. Okay, noted. That video made me more interested in building elves for sure. I'm glad to hear it. My biggest, the biggest thing that I want is more people playing elves so that I can prey upon them with Black Sack and Jund Wildfire and Dimir Fairies. So please play more elves. We can jump here. Going to give it to my friends so I can crush them. Easy money. That's the way to do it. All right. I probably just cast Nest Invader here because I don't think they want to waste a counter spell on that. And if they do, that's fine. And I want to keep hitting land drops before I play this Glimpse the Impossible. Plus, I don't want it to get countered. Friend took this to a win a duel last weekend, finished in the top 4. Very nice. It seems to be doing pretty well, making some waves. I think I'm just going to take a hit. If we do somehow get a Chrysalis through, the more spawn, the better. Ooh, Impact Tremors. I think that's worth going for. If it gets countered, we can rebuy it later with the damage control. If not, I could go for a Glimpse the Impossible. Whoever was saying no card draw as well. Glimpse the Impossible is kind of a draw 3 if you have the right mana for it, which I don't this turn, but maybe next turn, although it'll probably get countered there, but that's okay. Murmuring Mystic is tough. We don't have any Pyroblasts. I'm going to trade here, I think. I guess I should go for this. Impact Tremors. Hits them for 1. I'm going to go for Glimpse. I feel there's a large possibility it will be countered by a Blue Blast. There it is. Hydro Blast. Call Damage Control, can't buy that back. I could get back Just a Repurposer, but that's not very good. I guess I'll just pass. Hi, Marcini from work. Hope I don't get fired. If there's a legitimate concern of getting fired, then don't watch. But if that's just a joke, then you know, enjoy. All right, they have a Lorien. Swing with both. Block here. Bristling Backwoods. I mean, I'll just play this. I think damage control on a repurposer just isn't good enough right now. Just joking. Not that much work today, so I have some free time. Very nice. I'm also at work, but who needs employment when Pauper's the cheap format? True. You can be broke and still be able to afford cards. I will be dying here, that's for sure. Nest Invader. Guess I'm going to pass more. They got a counterspell. Perfect. Exactly what we wanted them to have. Keykeeper's not a bad draw. I mean, we're dead, but even if it got countered, I could bring it back or I could unearth it. Don't think there's any way. And we know they have a counterspell. And they have flyers in the air, so we're dead, unfortunately. Nothing here really fixes that. Again, I could Moment's Peace. I feel like it's better to probably just have like the life gain from a Warden and also the fact that it can chump and attack and stuff like that. So let's just resubmit, try to have a better hand. I will say we mulliganed to 5 both of those games, and the first one we still got there, but this one was tough. I don't love this hand, but I think I'm going to keep. I have Rumble to hopefully find like a Chrysalis. If they force spike it, that's pretty bad, but otherwise we might be okay. And Bolt's not the best here. I really don't want to mulligan to 5 again. Having no red blast in a 2-color deck, red deck is definitely a choice. Yeah, I mean, it seemed to be doing okay for him. I assume the goal is that you can, or the idea is that you can kind of just outgrind a lot of the blue decks. I don't know for sure, though. I could go for a Rumble. It could get force spiked. I could go for an Impact Tremors, but it can also get Hydro Blasted. But I guess it's going to get one of those, probably. Like, Hydro Blasted, it can get done later. So I think I just go for the Tremors and see if they have anything. No force spike. They could still blast it, though. Brainstorm, Mental Note, and tapping out is pretty nice for us. Unfortunately, since we didn't go for the Rumble, I can't Chrysalis here, but I do get to just Rumble for free. No concern of getting force spiked. Okay, Mountain, Glimpse. Not the best, but we'll play a couple creatures. Maybe next year the cheapest deck is $250. We need to buy as long as we have jobs. It's a good point. Decks are increasing in cost, unfortunately. Sprout Swarm. Oops. Hope Hobbit has a Lorien reprint. Yeah, that would be nice. I think it's like $5 right now. Definitely be nice for it to be a bit cheaper. I'm not going to cast Chrysalis, our main good card here, into what they got. If they tap out here, I'll go for a Sprout Swarm, but there's a Serpent. Well, on the end step, I'll go for a Sprout Swarm. If they want to counter it, I get a Chrysalis. I guess they could Dispel, but then they still won't be able to have a counter spell for 1 mana that's going to counter Chrysalis, so should be okay. And if they let this go, then that's also just free value. We'll pass the turn. Another Serpent. I'm going to cast this. See what they want to do. Leaving up Double Bolt if I want to, like, throw it all at their face. I'm probably going to take this because I'd like to have more creatures around. Okay, for the Sprout Swarm, but if they counter it, then I think it's fine to chump. I could Double Bolt one of these, but I think I just want these to go at their face. I guess I probably don't need to do it now, though. Call damage control. Let's go for a Chrysalis. Ping for 3. Only thing in our graveyard is lands and spells, so I can't call damage control effectively. So let's just pass. Brainstorm, Thought Scour. Away 2 islands. They have a Delver of Secrets, and a Sleep of the Dead. Okay, almost out of cards. Gonna block. I think I kind of want to double bolt them. They go to 7. That's not really close enough. All right, I think I'm going to cast 1 on them. I might save the other for the Delver. We really need to draw something good here. Another Chrysalis would be great. Molten Gatekeeper would be okay. Hissing Iguanar is decent. It's a creature I can play that gives me some more value, and if it gets countered or dies, I can bring it back. Every point of damage can matter here, so I'm going to attack with the Sapperling. If they want to trade the Delver, that's great. If they want to take a damage, that could lead to their death later. Let's pass. Cycling by 1 is very difficult to come back to in Magic. Yeah, that's true. I mean, it depends on the power level of the Hobbit set. If it's equivalent to Lord of the Rings, then it wouldn't be that hard to do because it'll just be about the same level. But yeah, otherwise it is hard to get back to, for sure. They're going for a sleep. On Chris, swing, block, sack, they take a damage. Yes, I'd like to use its ability. One of the million box toppers, probably. Yeah, I could see that. Could bolt the Delver. Should essentially give me 3 here if they don't counter it. Plus, if it does resolve, it means I can't die next turn. So yeah, they're going to go for Dispel. Standard is constantly cracked in half. I'm not sure Lorien would even be the strongest thing to be doing. Yeah, fair. Or any of the cyclers for that matter. They're out of cards. This is a really good draw. This is going to ping for 1. I could attack both of these. They block here. Take 1. Call damage control. They have Sleep of the Dead, so if they don't block, then I could die if this flips because they tap this. So I actually need to leave all of these as blockers because they can tap 2 of them, and they do flip off a Mental Note. Sleep the Chrysalis. Okay, so if I block and block, I get 2 pings, and then I can bring this back for a 3rd, and I could attack, and that's 5. We know they have a Mental Note. It could turn into a counter spell. Yeah, I mean, I think there's no reason to not block these. I guess I could trade for 1, but I don't think that's where I want to be. I want the Iguana on board, I think. They'll take 2. They're going to Mental Note. Turn up another Sleep of the Dead. I guess if they don't have anything to interact with, they might just sleep this, but they're gonna pass. Well, I can bring this back for a damage, attack for what should be 2, unless they have a red blast, or a blue blast, excuse me, Hydro, which they do, of course. Okay, I can get that back, but it doesn't matter now that this is entered. If I attack, they block the Iguana, they take 2. I guess we're not dead. Then we Bristling Backwoods, ping them for 1. And then we buy back Iguana and Impact Tremors. I don't have a creature to buy back to ping. Oh, not yet. But if they block the Iguaner, which they have to, I buy that back, then I replay it with the Gatekeeper on board, we should have lethal. Whenever another creature dies, another creature, it counts their creatures. I was like, this doesn't trigger off itself. Okay, never mind. They conceded there, although they didn't know we had lethal. But yeah, I forgot this triggers off their creatures. This card's really good. All right, we got there. That was sick. All right. This one looks good. On the play, can land munitions immediately. Chrysalis later. That'll be cool. Opponent mulligans to 5. It's going to help us a little bit. All right, against some version of Tron. I could munitions, but I could also rumble immediately Chrysalis on turn 3. Against Tron, that feels pretty good. Even if it's Monster Tron with their mulligan, it might be hard for them to get things out immediately, so I might get an attack in. I think we're going to go for that. A bunch of lands or a Raphael. Let's take the turtle. Although now I guess I want to play Raphael before I play Chrysalis, but that's also fine still. They are going to have Tron on turn 3. All right, let's just get Raphael going. We'll have up a bolt. I don't want a munitions off the spawn because obviously that's just fodder I'm throwing away for no reason. I'm going to guess it's Monstertron because that's the most prevalent right now, and that is going to make it difficult to ping them out as they play a lot of life gain. Barrel, Blasting Jelly, and then Genercent. Okay. Well, Bolt's not going to kill anything anyway, so I'm just going to ping them with it. Another Chris is really good. All right, pass the turn. They got a Colossus into a Genercent. Pretty good. Luckily, their Genercents are only 5/7s, and my Chrysalis can be a 5/6, so it can block. My next one will be a 7/8, so I can block everything. Although if they attack here with the Genercent, I'd probably take it so that this Chrysalis can grow. Okay, I didn't actually think they would attack, but I guess I can't kill their end, so I could just jump. This will be slightly smaller. No, I think I can take 5. Essence Ward. I don't think I need the life gain that bad. I think we're just going to do this. Try to preserve all our guys right now. They have an Ancient Stirrings. Unfathomable Truths. Pretty nice one to find. Chromatic Star. Crack that for blue. Draw some cards. I mean, luckily for us, they haven't found any of the guys except for the Genercents with food that's like gained them a ton of life, so like maybe we can get there with the munitions if they still don't gain life in the next like 2 turns. That's kind of the hope. There's a forest, mountain. Let's play Essence Warden, Repurposer, and then I have to sack 1 spawn to play this munitions, but I think it might be worth it because if they get like a breath weapon or something, I might want to throw a bunch of these spawn. So I think we're gonna, or I guess if we untap and they can gain some life here. We have 10 mana. Don't have 10 things to throw. If we're using the spawn for mana, that is. I don't know. This will still be pretty good. They are going to correct the food in response. We'll pass the turn. I could attack with the Chrysalis. They'd be 8/9s at their biggest, but not really that beneficial. Although if we don't draw much here and they start getting like Brambleworms and stuff, we could be in some trouble for sure. Hoping that doesn't happen. Another Genercent. Yep. All right. We gain life off of them having creatures enter. And a Boulder Branch. That gains some life. If we could get like Hissing Iguaner, that'd be pretty good. Because then these would all be dealing extra damage. Well, that's not great. I'll play it just because it means more munitions things to sacrifice. Gruul tokens, I played this earlier this week. How's it been treating you? This is match 2, but we got the first one against Terror, which was pretty cool. And yeah, it's doing all right. I wish we could draw Glimpse the Impossible here. Maybe we'll find it. All right, they pick off the Raphael. I mean, the only things to throw this at would be like a spawn or their face. I don't think I care if they have a spawn, so I guess I'll ping them for 1. Another barrel. Crack of food. No attacks. Come on, Glimpse the Impossible. All right, I mean, that's good setup for when I do find something else. Monstertron was tough for me. Hope you have better luck against it. Yeah, things are going okay. We're definitely stable. It's just a matter of who can break through first. They're tapping 12 mana, so that doesn't give me hope. I'm trying to think what they would have for 12 mana. Maybe a Carevex Torch. I know some lists have been playing that. Crop Rotation into a Mine. And then Carevex for 13. Or like a Hydra, I guess. That'd be a weird one to play. They couldn't bestow it, though. Okay, they're just passing. If they attack all out now, I'm going to assume they have Carevex Torch. So I shouldn't let any of these connect. Because they could deal 13 damage. Not that I would probably let them connect anyway, but yeah, best guys to block are these. They could also have a breath weapon. These are going to get up to 9 toughness, so I guess this would kill that. Maybe for that reason I do this. And then like 3 of these. I'm going to have to sacrifice 4 spawn already to grow these, but I'm also going to sacrifice them to ping them. Maybe I just go for these then. All right, not for mana. I'm so used to sacrificing them for mana, but we're gonna throw them at their face. They can sack the barrels at some point to pick off or to have this trade with a Chrysalis. The Chrysalis and like the Ent, but yeah. But the Chrysalis I can just grow, so it's not gonna die immediately to it. At least it's not the spacecraft. 7/7 flying was too much to deal with. Yeah, the fact that they haven't gotten that to both kill a Chrysalis and then also fly over is pretty nice for us. All right, we'll see what they got. They're gonna use the barrel, I assume. Although if they use the barrel, they have no means of getting colored mana. They are gonna do that, okay? So this is gonna trade with an Ent now. They have all colorless mana. I can attack for 11, and then I have 5 damage, so I'm just short. Okay, they have something else that makes sense. Iron Giant. 6/6 Vigilance, Reach, Trample. Interesting. Okay, that's decent. If I attack with everything and they don't block the Chrysalis, they block, say, the Repurposer, they take 8, so they go to 9. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's not quite lethal, but I could just attack with a Chrysalis. I can take that. Yeah, so if I just attack with Chrysalis, let's play Repurposer first, because I could also sack the spawn. I might be able to get there if they don't block because of the spawn, actually. So they're at 15, and if they block, say, the Repurposer, they take 8, but then I throw this for 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I think that's lethal. If they block the Repurposer, block this, that would be easier to get to. I think bad creature this giant, no ETB. Yeah, I kind of agree. I have a feeling that this game will go to time. Still game 1, and there's only been a net of 3 life lost across you. That's fair. I don't know about this game, but the match maybe, but we're also relatively high. I'm pretty sure I did my math right, and I can kill here. Unless they chump, which is fine. If they chump Chrysalis, then I'm in a fine spot anyway. If they don't chump Chrysalis, I believe I can kill them. Of course, then you go and deal a big pile of damage. Yeah, sorry to throw off your math there. Make your prediction totally wrong. They block the Warden? Well, that's obviously not good enough. This is 10 damage. Okay, I'll throw Warden at them. I'll throw this for 2 more, and then this for 2 more, right? 11. I mean, I could even sacrifice this to throw this, which would be even more damage, because these would grow. Ping. This is 13. Yeah, so I have even more damage. All right. Yeah, they did not block correctly to survive there. So that was nice. Troublemaker Roof for sure comes in. Moment's Peace, theoretically. I guess with like that all-out attack, I could fog it and then attack them back. I mean, match going to time. Yeah, no, for sure. We definitely still could get there. It's looking a little wonky. Bolts don't feel good enough. They have too much life gain for it to be super relevant in the damage race, and their creatures are not small enough for it to kill. So I'm happy to get rid of 4 bolts here. I think the life gain from the Warden is probably not necessary either. So I think, yeah, Moment's Peace and Troublemaker could be good enough. Yeah, this looks good. A lot of tap lands. Like, it's a slow one, but the Gatekeepers, I think, could be really good in this match. They mulligan to 5 again. Brutal. They got to stop doing that. It's not doing them any favors. Untapped land isn't bad. All right, we're gonna... I could Rumble next turn, but I probably just want to make sure I hit these 3 drops on turn 3 and 4 and 5. So I think I'm going to play a tap land, unless I get another untapped land here. Yeah, Bristling Backwoods. I'm sure there's a lot of tricks with this deck that I don't know yet because I haven't played enough. But one that I do know is you want to play your Colony Garden later if you can, because you want to make sure you're getting as many ping triggers off as possible. Ancient Stirrings. So I probably want to play Gatekeeper because I get those triggers, but the Iguanar does attack better, and it's looking like I might be able to attack at least once or twice. But I think I want to start stacking the ETB ping triggers for when all my creatures are entering, and then the dies before that happens. So they're going to crop rotation. Okay, they do have Tron then. This is also better for Iguanar in case they have like a kill ship. I'd rather this die. Boulder Branch. And they got a couple cards left in hand, but they are at 30 life. Raphael. All right, we're playing a Gatekeeper and we're playing a Colony Garden. 2 damage is plenty, plus I do want to hit my land drops, obviously. Next turn I get to play Raphael for 2 damage and then Rumble for 3, assuming I don't lose any of these guys. That's pretty good. They have a map and a Colossus. Ancient Stirrings is a good hit as far as we're concerned. Truth is good for them. It's a little slow because they don't currently have a way to cast it, but still not bad. They're going to attack for 6. Yeah, I think we'll chump. Ooh, Troublemaker Oof. That's a reason to not have chumped. I could Rumble and then Troublemaker Oof, exile. I mean, Colossus is a good one. Probably with that. I could get the map, though, and then if they can't get blue, they can't Truths. Or I could just Raphael, Rumble, build up our damage. If I exile the Colossus, I get to attack for 4, though. Yeah, I think I kind of want to do that. Let's go for a rumble. I actually might want to get a land here. Definitely more than an Essence Warden. Don't need that. Ping for 2. I could rumble again. If you find forest off the rumble, you could still oof. Yeah. I mean, I could still oof now, but like, oh, you're saying, yeah, but I would have to sack the spawn to pay the oof cost, so then I'd have to bargain like a gatekeeper, which I wouldn't love. But it is a possibility. Yeah, here I'm trying to figure out if I could Raphael and then rumble again. I still think I want to oof. It's mana inefficient, but I do get to put him to 19, which is not that much closer. Call damage control. All right, I think I want to Raphael, actually, and then rumble again. Impact Tremors. We'll take that. They take 3, and then I'll pass here. I mean, that's 4th Impact Tremors is a lot. If I can just, like, start playing a couple creatures, dealing them 1,000,000 damage, crack the map for a tower. Okay, so they have to have another way to make colored mana, right? Otherwise, they should have gotten a conduit pylons. There's a star. Yeah, there we go. There's blue. Prism. Okay. I guess that's what they drew. So they didn't need to truths off of that. They could do it at instant speed, I guess, if they want. I kind of want to take this so that I can Tremors, oof this, exile. I go to 7. I could just lose then if they get a kill ship out, I guess. I think I'm going to take it. I mean, if they have kill ship right now, I get to oof. Okay. Ramble Worm's not great because of the trample. Get another rumble. All right. Impact Tremors, rumble, Chris is pretty dang late, but still going to take it for next turn. That deals like 12 damage by itself. So then I'm going to oof a Colossus, sacking both of these. Ping for 4. Yeah, so we're going to sack this. I could get rid of the Prism, so they have nothing else coming, potentially, but then they just play another 8-drop or whatever, and it's like terrible for us. So I think I have to get rid of this. They take 4. I'm going to have to like triple block this. All right, pass. Traded a Memnite and a Dust for a deck donation. Best trade every day. I mean, I was pretty happy with it too. That Memnite's sick. Full art Memnite. Yeah, I mean, it's a real cool one. My love for Mirrodin got the better of me. All right, so here I have to chump and probably chump here. I think I go to 4. Then I could unearth this for 3 damage. Chrysalis for 12. Maybe I can attack and win. Probably not quite. Those Memnites have seen so much play in 2013 to 2026. As they should. Cards are meant for playing. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I chump like this. And if I get like an untapped land, I think I can kill here maybe. I mean, until they gain another 10 life or whatever they're about to do. Gent, pretty good. Food token, not the worst. Forest is what I was looking for. Okay. Or I could go for call damage control on a Tremors and an oof. But then I don't have anything to sack to the oof. Yeah, we're just unearthing this. Ask for videos. Okay to send. Yeah, go for it. I'm happy for people to share any of my videos with anybody. All right. Then we get to do this. 0 spacecraft strange. I assume they have them. They're probably just not drawing them. Could be wrong, I guess. So we deal 12 here with this Chrysalis. That's pretty sick. And then Hissing Iguanar. I guess this is lethal if they don't have anything, because this puts them to 1. Then I attack. Oh, that's insane. I mean, like 1 Tremors with a Chrysalis is like super cool. 4 Tremors effects, so Chrysalis is just suddenly 12 damage to the face is insane. That's what happens when they have no interaction, I guess, though. Pew 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 pew. Gruul tokens today? Yes, indeed. We are on Gruul tokens right now, and once we're done with the league in probably an hour and a half, we'll be moving on to some Mardu Synth. So you can look forward to that. Also, something else to look forward to is me getting crushed by Kalikais, as always. I'm once again, as almost every single time, playing a relatively fair deck with not a lot of interaction. So I'm confident I will get destroyed by Ruby Storm here. Okay, not Ruby Storm. Looks like Familiars, probably. Maybe Jeskai. I'd assume Familiars. Combo time? Sorry, my sunglasses are over there. I can't combo time yet. Crushed in gamer physically. I've seen his arms. He didn't crush me physically, but I did meet him, and his arms are enormous. I cannot lie. I want to start getting these 3-drops down, but then I don't play this Nest Invader. I guess that's the point of Nest Invaders. It makes a mana, right? So I guess I could do Nest Invader and still play a 3-drop next turn, just have to sack the spawn. Or if I draw an untapped land, I can play a Chrysalis, start attacking with that immediately. Modern Age. This deck might have some serious legs. Beat Terror without blasts. Didn't drop a game against Monstertron. Definitely some good signs. We do get the untapped land, but do I want to just Gatekeeper first? I think yes. So, because I can play Chrysalis, but he could just snap it back, and then I get very little out of it. Whereas if I go Gatekeeper first, then I can at least get 3 extra pings. So that's pretty good. Chancery floats mana first, so that's probably going to be a snap. Yeah, Faithful, snap a Gatekeeper. It's always annoying. Untap, snap a plant. Okay. That's a lot of mana. Hardcast a Muldrifter and a Preordain. Okay. Not the worst thing ever. Like, it'd be a lot worse if it was Muldrifter Ephemerate or whatever. Still really annoying. Impact Tremors. I can't play that and something else. I mean, now I just want to play Chrysalis because it's most mana efficient, and it makes it so I have the most options next turn, so let's do that. I could have attacked with an Nest Invader. They'd just block. I don't think he's going to expect any tricks. I guess I could be playing a Bolt, but I don't think that's going to stop him from blocking anyway. We've already seen 2 snaps, so there better not be any more. Oh, familiar. Brutal. Deep Analysis. Okay. All right, pass the turn. Bolt is decent. I can take out this familiar. 6 mana. So I'm going to just start with the Impact Tremors. See if he wants to prohibit that. If he prohibits, then I can get a clean bolt off on the familiar. Although, maybe I need to hold it for the Muldrifter. Foil, discarding a Deep Analysis and a Highland. Okay, that works. Do I want to play a Gatekeeper? Kind of. Attack with a Chris. I guess I'm going to bolt anything I should do in the upkeep, but I might need to hold the bolt for the Muldrifter. Oh, it's blocking with the Muldrifter. That tells me it's probably going to be a Ghostly Flicker or an Ephemerate. Otherwise, that seems really aggressive. Well, hoping there's no prohibit. All right, that worked. Nice. A little bit of interaction that we had worked. Of course, that means they still have familiar. He gets to Archaeomancer, back the Ephemerate, then buy back. Foil seems tough. Yeah, snap. Right. Snap the Chrysalis on tap. Oh my gosh. No, he goes for the Gatekeeper. That makes sense. This is just something you can chump. Now I need another bolt for the Archaeomancer. Ghostly Flicker. Vector Glider coming in. I'm just so pinched on mana here. I could Impact Tremors. He has an Ephemerate coming off. Rebound. I don't think I can win this. He has Ghostly Flicker and Ephemerate. He's at 21. All right, let's go to the next game. We don't need to waste infinite time. This is probably a really bad matchup because we don't have the most interaction, and they do have a lot more than we do. But Fairy Macabre will help their loops not loop. Breath Weapon doesn't seem good enough. I think Sprout Swarm is going to be way too late game, too slow. If we get to the late game, they're more than happy for that, and the life gain is so irrelevant. Let's do this. Still seems like a really bad matchup. In fact, I think this is the matchup that Will played in the top 16 that he lost against GN, if I recall. Oh, I would love to have a hand with 2 bolts, but I can't keep these 1-landers. Well, I guess I'm keeping this and hoping I get green. I mean, this hand doesn't even look like a winner, to be honest. Even if I get green, that's okay. I'll play this. Chancery bounces a land, cycles the Ash Barrens. Got to discard a card though. Embarrassing. We got nothing. Preordain, Modern Age. Well, we'll pass here. Discarding a Chancery. Deep Analysis. Come on, give me a Forest. I don't know if there's any way we can win being like 2 turns behind here, but maybe if we get a Forest. Colony Garden is not quite good enough. We'll see what happens. In fact, I'm just giving him a snap target. At least you're getting the Lost Fear 4-1 out of the way early. Yeah, it's always nice to 2-1 into 4-1 is much better than 4-0 into 4-1. Here comes the snap. Oh, I almost let that resolve. I should throw this at him so he doesn't get tons and tons of mana. Now he's in for it. I mean, I probably should Rumble first. Try to find more lands. And then Gatekeeper. It's so bad. I've run out of Gatekeeper. You can just target it with a snap. Let's go for another Rumble. I would like more mana, but I think if I have a chance of winning, I need to get a couple Impact Tremors out and then start playing some creatures. There's a Muldrifter about to be snapped. Can't stop that. I could sack 1 spawn to pay for the other spawn being thrown, but that's only 1 damage, not 2. Archaeomancer gets back snap. Muldrifter, snap again. There's an Ephemerate on the Archaeomancer. I'm just gonna scoop it up. We had some bad draws, and again, I think this is a rough match, but we're giving Kalikai's a free win. Nothing wrong with that. Hopefully he'll trophy or something, and I can see the snapshot on Twitter and post under it, I'm in this picture and I don't like it. All right, we have another match here. This one seems okay. We have Essence Warden into potentially tons of life gain, tons of creatures. I'm going to start with the backwoods because I want to be able to play my 3-drops on turn 3, and getting a Warden out a turn earlier doesn't really seem great. All right. Escape Tunnel could mean Infect or it could mean Tribe. I think those are the main 2 decks. Looks like Boros Tribe. Bitter Reunion. We might see a snacker here, but it'll gain me a life, so it's like a half snacker. All right, let's just get Gatekeeper going. Attack for 1, and take 2 here from the snacker. Magmakin Artillerist, sure. Got a Bolt, but this is a 1-4. I guess if I attack with a Gatekeeper, they probably block it, and I get to kill that. I don't know if that's the best use of my Lightning Bolt, but it seems okay. Lets us get in for more damage. We have a bunch of attackers here. We get to ping them for another 3. Pass the turn, and now I can go for a Glimpse next turn. Try to get some value out of that. Pursue the Past. Looks like they're leaving back Snacker. Discard Eidolon. Bitter Reunion. Discard another Snacker. Munitions. Ooh, okay. So I could Glimpse, but I could just play Munitions, ping this off, hit for 5. I guess I can probably do both if I hit a land here. Yeah, let's go for it. Glimpse hits Mountain. Ooh, but I don't want to waste an Impact Tremors. Yeah, let's do that, and then it's fine. I'll just attack with the Gatekeeper. If they want to chump, that's fine. This turns into a spawn at end of turn, which will ping for 2. They have a Pursue the Past. Get back and rediscard the Eidolon. Snacker returns, gaining us some more life. They play another Pursue the Past. They're gaining some life here, but kind of like our engine better than theirs at the moment. Yeah, gain some more life. I mean, up by 5 this turn's not bad. Another Glimpse. Well, we're going to go for this again. See what we turn up. Chris, Nest Invader, Sprout Swarm. Well, I can't play Chris, but I can play Nest Invader, and then I can convoke this Sprout Swarm, and it should go back to hand. Put this into your hand as it resolves. Yeah, so I can just cast with buyback, convoke, and then we're just going to be able to kill them with the Sprout Swarm. I mean, they can't stop us. Swing for 2 here. They are going to chump this time. This turns into another spawn. Pings for 2 more. We're at 30. Deck's doing some work here. See, I feel like this is what we've been missing a lot of those other games, is just like not getting any of the Glimpse the Impossibles. All right, you pay 4 mana to draw 2 cards and gain 2 life. Get some Snackers back. It's so cute. Bitter Reunion. I mean, I guess it would help if they had any of their Spirit Mascots or Tireless Tribes or whatever, but I'm not sure that would matter too much unless they fully comboed with Unblockable and everything. I think we can just kill here. 100%. I mean, we can just bolt, munitions, pick off this guy with a plant, attack with the team, and that's lethal. Well, we have a lot more we could do, but that'll work. Fair Macabre's probably worth it. I think Breath Weapon, like, in general, would be okay in this matchup. I would bring it in for like Snackers and stuff if I was like a control deck, but since Breath Weapon kills all my own stuff, you really only want to do this if it's very concerning, like if they're Rally, or I mean, even Rally we probably can just block. I don't know what the Breath Weapons are for exactly. Elves, I guess, is probably the thing. I think Moment's Peace is good though, because if they go for the combo, this can just stop them. We don't really need the life gain. Bolts are good, though. Sprout Swarm is good. I don't know if it's really necessary. Call Damage Control, maybe. They don't play a lot of removal, so I'm not sure we really need those. I mean, we were able to deal with the Snackers just fine by just ignoring them, but I'm not sure we're going to have that every draw, so I think the Macabres are still worth bringing in, for sure. It looks decent. Let's go for a Bristling Backwoods. Thought this was a Dota 2 character, but... Alright, they Bitter Reunion, discard Eidolon. Yeah, I mean, we're going to go for the Nest Invader. I could go for a Chrysalis next turn, but then I'm wasting the damage from the Gatekeeper, so we're probably just going to do the same, like, Gatekeeper. Ooh, they have no white mana. I mean, they're about to get it, but a bit of a waste there. Gatekeeper and play the Backwoods. Swing for 2. Ping them for another one. They bolt the Gatekeeper. Okay. They got to sack this for Plains, right? Yes, indeed. It's a nice Plains. Thrilling Discovery. Gets back Eidolon. Discards Eidolon and a Mountain. Garrison. I want to have a Gatekeeper out before I Chrysalis, but if I only do that, the only other thing I could do with my mana is unearth this other Gatekeeper, which is only getting a little bit of damage. So I don't really love that. I think I want to just play Chrysalis because it gives me a lot more mana for next turn, and just accept that we're not getting the 3 off the Gatekeeper, but by doing that, we're also playing a Chrysalis, which can attack for 4. So assuming it actually connects, like, the trade-off is worth it. Plus, maybe we can play, like, Gatekeeper plus Rumble plus Invader or something. They go for a Discovery. Discard Snacker and Eidolon. A different one. Pursue the Past. Not Nick, 420, subscribed for 5 months in a row. Thanks for that, Not Nick. Hope the Hedron is serving you well. They got to discard a couple cards. Probably some Eidolons. Get another Gatekeeper. You got just a Plains up. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, I think I want to sack a spawn, play a Gatekeeper, go for a Rumble here, find a Colony Garden, sure. Ping for 1. Gonna play the Colony Garden. Oh, we milled a Moment's Peace. That's nice. And then I could play a Nest Invader to ping for 2 more. Plus I hit for a 3rd. I think that's fine. Obviously, there's more, like, I could save Nest Invader to ping for even more with these guys later. That's definitely something I could do. I'm really seeing the depth of the decisions for this deck, which entices me to, definitely makes me like it a lot, because, like, it feels very much like Black Sack in that, oh, you could sacrifice a creature now or you could sacrifice it later, and you might be wasting a damage by sacrificing it later, by not sacrificing it right now, you might be wasting a damage, but is it worth it? And the sequencing is very important because if I play this in this way, I get 4 damage off pingers, but if I do it this way, I get to attack earlier. So which one of those is going to be better? And so there's a lot of very intricate sequencing for this deck that I'm confident I'm not doing correctly right now, but means that there's a lot of depth of learning for it, which is really cool. Meanwhile, they're doing nothing. They're once again just drawing and discarding. I mean, they just said, boy, do I love seeing half my deck 2 games in a row and not finding the card that gives name to my deck. That is rough. Flashback, Pursue the Past. They're up to 13 with a 1 blocker, but I feel like I can probably just kill them here. I mean, chump this, but they're taking 6. Plus I have a Gatekeeper that unearths. Yeah, so I can Glimpse the Impossible, Mountain, unearth this Gatekeeper. So I can hit for 8, and the Nest Invader should just be lethal, because this hits for a bunch. Yeah, I mean, they just drew really poorly, for sure. Seems like an okay matchup for us anyway, but certainly if they comboed immediately, I might not have gotten there. All right, last round here. I'll get a 6. We'll keep this one. We have a turn 3 Chrysalis through this Rumble if we want it, which is always pretty good. Bristling Backwoods, another Rumble against Jund. Seems like it could be an okay matchup for us. Krark is going to be a concern for sure. Just have Chrysalis after Chrysalis. I mean, I'm not taking any of the rest of this. I guess a land could be okay, but we have a Rumble for another land. I think I'm just going to take a Chrysalis. I think the best way to beat them is probably try to land a bunch of specifically Impact Tremors, the ones that don't die, because they have very little, if any, enchantment removal in their main deck. And so after doing that, just eventually win by pinging them out. But it's going to be tough for now. They are going to refurb, maybe double refurb us here. The Warden is pretty irrelevant. See if they have a second one. No. Okay, that's good. Do get a land. So I could Chrysalis here. Yeah, I think it's worth it. Probably eats a cast down or whatever, but gives us more mana for next turn, makes the next Chrysalis scary, etc. They're going for a draw 3. It does suck that you can't dig for a bolt with Rumble / damage control. I feel like you need one to answer Toxin. Yeah, it would be nice to have a way to find those for sure. I think Rumble does tons of stuff in this deck that makes it good enough anyway, but I agree. Obviously, it'd be nice to have. There's one. It's pretty good. I could just play a Chrysalis, sacrificing the spawn, holding up Bolt. Then I have a 4 or 5 that could grow even more attacking in if they try to Toxin. If they try to Krark-Clan Shaman us. Or I could just go for a Rumble here. But yeah, I feel like with the insurance of the lightning bolts, this is probably what I go for. I should have stacked these one at a time, but it shouldn't matter. Maybe Seal of Fire is the way. Yeah, if this deck struggles with, specifically with Krark-Clan Shaman in this matchup or Grixis, and Bolt is like the answer, then I definitely think that it's possible Seal of Fire would be a good include. It's not a bad idea, for sure. I could go for a Rumble, and if I get a Mountain, then I can still hold up Bolts, which would be pretty cool. It's a little risky, so I don't think I'm going to do that. I think we're already in a pretty good winning spot. So, all right, now they have a Chrysalis. They're going to be less likely wanting to blow up the board. Gatekeeper. Let's go for a Rumble. I think we want to hit land drops, and we want to get these Impact Tremors down. But for now, it might just need to be a land drop. Well, Impact Tremors, Raphael. I'm going to take the Tremors, the actual Tremors. I think I'm going to play it for the future. I'm going to attack with these two. They could have block and then Toxin, which would be kind of annoying. I think I'm going to Bolt if they go for that, because I'm going to assume that they don't have / don't want to use Toxin on a Krark at that point. Or if they just go for double chump, that's fine. Fanatical Offering, the second spawn. There's an Infiltrator. I might need to Bolt that if they're about to grow it enormously. Map onto the Familiar. Guess we'll let that go. Mountain drawn. Swing with these. I kind of want to keep this spawn so that I can play a Chrysalis if I draw an untapped land. Yeah, I think I got to take 6 here, but I think I'm gonna shoot this Infiltrator before it gets too big. With all their guys on the ground, Krark Toxin is not my biggest concern at this point. They have a refurb on top. That's good. We do get a land, so I could Chrysalis. I guess now I can Chrysalis. I don't have to hold up the extra bolt, I suppose. So, yeah, I think I just ping for 3, attack with both of these. And they could now have Krark Death Touch, and I won't be able to do anything about it. They haven't really been playing as though they have it, and this is just kind of how we've had to play. So if they do have it, it's fine. They still lose their own Chrysalis. They block the small one, which means they have a cast down for the big one. Or terminate, I guess. Yeah. They are going to refurb me because they saw one on top, which means I get to discard this Gatekeeper, which is actually kind of decent. That could be just free damage. Like, Gatekeeper from hand is pretty decent, but Gatekeeper from the graveyard is, like, kind of busted. Because it's 1 mana for a 2-power attacker that just adds a damage to every creature that enters. Like, often this is, like, anywhere from a Lightning Bolt to a Lava Axe for 1 mana. And sometimes it does nothing, but obviously in the right deck, it's really good. Like, worst case scenario, I unearth it next turn, I glimpse the impossible, and if I hit nothing relevant to play, it still domes for 3. Another glimpse the impossible. Well, we're going to cast one of these. These don't turn into creatures until the end step, so I don't need to unearth the Gatekeeper first. I want to have as much colored mana as possible, so let's just sack some spawn. Glimpse. Gatekeeper. Chrysalis. If I cast Chrysalis, I can't unearth the Gatekeeper, but I still have a glimpse for next turn, plus it grows my current Chrysalises. It tremors for 3. I could rumble. I don't think that's better. Yeah, I think we're just going for a Chrysalis here. So tremors for 3 plus 2 more at the end step. Plus, remember, the cards that are put into exile by the Glimpse the Impossible go to the graveyard, which means that the second Gatekeeper will actually be usable next turn by unearth. I think that milled Gatekeeper is fantastic. Gatekeeper that you had to discard is quite a bit weaker. Yeah, I mean, that's just saying, yeah, Refurb's a good card because it gave them a 2-for-1, like I had to discard the card. I certainly agree with that. Yeah, I mean, you're describing the same thing, right? It's a creature, it's a Molten Gatekeeper in the graveyard. How we got there is the main difference. And like, yeah, I mean, it's still a better card to discard than a card that doesn't do anything for my hand, right? But I mean, if they get like a Spell Bomb, blow up my graveyard, which I'm predicting is exactly what's about to happen, that's going to be unfortunate. But if they don't, I get to just Gatekeeper, ping for 1 with the Tremors, Gatekeeper again, ping for 2. Hopefully I draw a mountain and I can play the Glimpse the Impossible. Maybe I glimpse first to try to hit the mountain. I mean, I probably do if I don't draw it. Either way, pretty good. A lot of damage. There's a Wildfire, another Wildfire. They've drawn a whole lot of cards, but seems like they're not really finding what they need. I mean, we hit all 4 of our Chris's within 24 cards, which is pretty cool. So even though 2 of them have gotten cast down, we have 2 more that are just waiting to be enormous. They did see 3 refurbs though, which is pretty strong. I mean, they gotta have something else. If all they have is Lembas go to 10, we probably can kill them. There's the Spell Bomb. So they should crack it, and probably are going to. But the question is, do they want to crack it right away and draw a card, or do they want to leave up Lembas? But I don't know what they were tanking on. They had both the answers they were looking for. I guess if no Toxin, like, this still doesn't do that much. Is that Toxin analysis? Okay, I guess not. They're sacrificing. Okay, well, I guess this is pretty good for us then. Jeez. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, that's what they need. I mean, I'll sack all these, but they should be wiping the whole board. They didn't blow up the graveyard, though, so because they thought they needed to do this. So I think they're just dead. The good old 11 for 2. I mean, it's pretty strong, you know? So if I Gatekeeper, I ping for 1. I second Gatekeeper, I ping for 2. And then I attack for 3. Or excuse me, I attack for 4. Yeah. I understand they thought they had to do that, but this just was them being dead on board then. So they could have waited to do that until my turn. If I didn't have another way to make a spawn, then they could have done it after I unearthed these guys. I don't know. We got there. That's pretty good. Troublemaker Roof comes in. I think that's it. Essence Warden, and what else comes out? Sprout Swarm's late game. Sprout Swarm could get them. I think we don't need this many bolts. I guess bolts. Yeah, I guess we were talking about bolt Toxin being really good. Bolt to counter the Toxin. Maybe just like a Nest Invader. You know, sometimes you just gotta 11 for 2 yourself and hope for the best. Can't say it's always going to pay off, though. This hand looks fine. They mulligan to 5. That's been happening a lot this league, which I guess is why this deck is so powerful. Your opponents have no choice but to mull to 5. Pretty strong. Impact Tremors is really good. Didn't have a 2-drop, so that's nice. They have a Wellspring. Now, it could get Troublemaker Oofed right away. We're hoping it doesn't, but I don't think we're holding it for longer, just to hope that doesn't happen. They have a Spell Bomb and a Refurb. Guess I'll get rid of a Forest here. Maybe I do just get rid of the Gatekeeper, but it's kind of the next thing I want to cast here. So in this case, I didn't really want it from the graveyard as much. If like a creature or something dies, I can even call Damage Control to buy back our Forest plus whatever. Most of the hands you mulliganed have been 1-landers. Do you think 21 is too few? I don't think 21 lands should be too few. Like 21's a good amount for a deck that is pretty aggressive, and has so many spawn to like supplement the mana. But we also have a lot of ways to pay off our mana, right? Call Damage Control could be as much as like 9 mana if we buy back a 4-drop and a 3-drop. Glimpse the Impossible could give us like 10 more mana worth of things to do. So I think we've gotten a little unlucky, but I don't think that I don't think we probably need more lands, to be honest. Okay, so I could attack They go for a trade, and I could call damage control to buy back Forest Gatekeeper, but they have a spell bomb, so I don't really like that. I think it's probably better to just bolt this, Raphael, and then attack for 2 and ping for 2 here. And assuming they can't get me with a Kark, then I just have 3 Impact Tremors. Maybe I should also like Troublemaker Oof them at some point, but if I had a spawn, I would absolutely already be doing that, taking away a land, but it's not cutting them off color of mana, just the quantity, and I don't really want to sack an Impact Tremors or a Gatekeeper for it right now. There's a Wellspring. Is that a Kark? No, it's another Spell Bomb. Perfect. Hissing Iguanar. Well, I could play an Iguanar, which is not bad. We put him to 12 here, but I could also just Glimpse the Impossible, and at worst, I ping for 9. Even if they then wipe the board, all I have to find is a Lightning Bolt or like 3 more creatures with his Impact Tremors. Whereas if I play Iguanar, they could wipe the board and I just lose out. So I think I just go for the Glimpse. So I could play a Mountain here, which I don't hate, but I kind of think I just go for the 9 damage. It's just too much damage to pass up. I would like to yield to all, please. They go to 3, and even if they wipe the board, Tremors will get them in a couple of turns. They do have the Kark. If they don't have Death Touch, they're going to have to sack all their spell bombs, which also means this Gatekeeper comes back. Or they could sack a land, which actually they probably should. They let the trigger from the Wellspring resolve, but not the spell bomb, which they should probably do to see if they got... Well, I guess if they pay black, they're not going to be able to Toxin Analysis. What's up, Nedukissa? How's it going? I could sack the spawn, but I get nothing from it, so I might as well just let it go. If they don't have... I guess they could have a cast down. Another Impact Tremors. Alright, I think then we just Tremors Gatekeeper, which is an automatic 2 damage, and even if they have a cast down to kill it so it doesn't kill them on attacks, they are dead to... Yeah, dead to something next turn. Chrysalis. That is not going to save you, buddy. Going out with an Iguanar. Alright, we got that classic 4-1. Doing fine. The league phase of our local league ended and got 3rd out of 29 total players. Very nice. Only 3 points behind the tied top 2. That's very, very strong. All right, this deck was sick. I think there's, again, it's similar to some lists we've seen before, but I think there's a lot of really good stuff going on here, which makes sense because of the, sounds like months that the deck builder was working on it. So like a 1 of Iguanar and like makeshift munitions makes it really good for, the thing about the Impact Tremors, right, and the Gatekeeper a little bit less. If you top deck at late game, and you already have a huge board, it's a lot worse, right? Whereas if you do that with a makeshift munitions or an Iguanar, that's actually exactly where you want to be. But you generally want to have them earlier, so I like having mostly the Impact Tremors effects, but then these late game is really, really good. A couple Wardens. This could be a sideboard card, potentially, because, you know, we're setting it out in a lot of games, but we also didn't go up against a lot of the aggro or burn matchups. Obviously, if you were expecting a lot of burn, this would be a good one in the main deck, and I think is really good. One of Sprout Swarm's also fun. I've seen some of these lists that run like way too many Sprout Swarms, and it's just, Sprout Swarm is great, but only in very specific situations, usually in those Drago scenarios where you want to cast it over and over and over again. But yeah, this list looks sick. Pretty happy with it. Not a lot to say. So nice getting a 4-1 with it, and I suggest you try it out. If you're watching on YouTube, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.